everyone, it's Philippa here again for another episode of Meet the Community. Today I have with me Pat McDougall, who is Salish from the Klahoose Nation. I had to write that down. She's an amazing woman who has been part of the Freedom Era for about 3.5 months now. And just to start us off, because I hadn't heard of it before, and not saying that everyone doesn't know what I don't know, but I would love for you to just let us know, like, where is the Klahoose Nation? Because I feel like that's really interesting.
Okay, thank you, Philippa. It's great to be here. The Klahoose Nation is on Cortes Island, which is 2 islands over from where I live. I live on Vancouver Island, BC, Canada. And so you need to take a ferry to Quadra Island and then another ferry to Cortes Island. So it's basically a half-a-day trip to get there, and there's a little community there. That's where I'm from. Yeah, wow. And yes, it's very, very beautiful. You know, I would definitely recommend people going and having a visit. It's very special. And so I've been in the Freedom Era since end of May. And I have always been interested in building my business more than what I have. And I approached a friend who is in this, actually on a different business. And she had told me that she was in the Freedom Era. So I listened to the webinar. I'm always open to seeing what's happening and what's going on and what aligns with me and what gives me some juice. So I loved it right from the very beginning. I aligned with the learning platform to begin with, and then just recently I aligned with the Enagic as well. So I'm just getting going, and I'm excited to see where this takes me.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. And so being part of the platform for 3.5 months now, what were you doing before joining the platform? So did you have like your own business or working in a job? What was it like for you back then?
So I have a year and a half ago, I went from working full-time in a normal 9-to-5 job to going part-time so I could build my business. I am a graphic recorder, and I'm doing fairly well with that, but I was more called to work in the holistic field. Like that's like being a healer and an empath, do some readings and some mediumship. And so I was really called to doing that. And I've always struggled to try to, build a web page and build my business online. So when my friend Karen brought up the learning platform and that it's all done for you and, it teaches you how to do it. And when I jumped in, it was all about law of attraction, which is, totally where I've been for, I don't know, I'd say since 2010 when I learned about Esther and Jerry Hicks. So that's kind of why I got here and I aligned with it. And I've just been immersing myself completely, and I just finished the 90-day mastermind. I'm on the 30-day mentorship. I've done the 30 days already, but I'm doing it again. So there's a lot of information to take in all at once, but it's very exciting.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. And so what I notice about people that they like they're healers and intuitives, and they're doing that as a business, is that all you're wanting to do is do more of that work. So working with people and helping them, but then the technical aspect of the business side and the marketing and the branding and all of that stuff, it's kind of like it's a different world from what you're used to. So do you feel like being part of the platform and learning that stuff, like learning the personal branding and marketing and the technical side, do you feel like you like things are happening for you now. Things are dropping in more when you're putting those two worlds together.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a bit of a learning curve, but it's been exciting too to see how much easier it is than I had always thought it was. Once somebody shows you how to do it, it's like, oh, that makes sense, and you go and do it, and it's like, okay, it's really great. I'm still learning, obviously, and you know, I have my own challenges about you know, the call to actions. I'm still learning to do that. But you know what? I'm getting myself out there. I've done Facebook Lives. I've done recorded videos. I'm posting on a more regular basis. I've stretched beyond what I could have imagined in the rest of it, like my whole entire life. This is the most I've ever stretched, and I just keep going.
Yeah.
And I've always given up in the past. Oh, this is too hard, or I can't do this, or, you know, fear gets in the way, or, you know, all those limiting beliefs. I just keep pushing through them. I mean, it's not always easy, right? But
yeah, totally. And so you mentioned that you have also partnered with Enagic, which is the high ticket, one of the high ticket offers in the Freedom era. How has that aligned with you as well in terms of the product itself and then the business side of it too?
the product and the business side?
Yeah.
The product itself. Okay. So what could I say about that? So it was very interesting. I resisted aligning with it. You know, I've been in MLMs before, network marketing and things like that, and it's never just been me. I've never been able to really been successful at it. So I was thinking that's what this is, and so I was listening with closed ears. I was resisting it. And then I saw a video with Tarek and a lady from Fiji, and he was talking my language, that water is life. Or that's what I say, water is life. But he was talking about how water is energy and water is vibration. And all of a sudden I was like, yeah, that's who I am. Water is life to me, right? Like as an Aboriginal Indigenous woman, you know, the land and the water and the environment, it's just, we're all one. And that's sort of when it all clicked, and it was like, oh, okay. And, you know, and I thought about it as an investment into my business. That's how I looked at it. And so it was just, it worked. It just worked, clicked. So.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. And then what, in terms of the masterclasses that we have each week from some of the high-level consultants that we have, has there been one that you've watched that you have really loved and you've really aligned with?
Well, yeah, there's been so many. Let me think. I mean, there's been so many for different reasons, like depending on what I'm learning, I'm needing to learn at the time. Like I needed to learn about Instagram. And I feel like I have a pretty healthy relationship with money, so I haven't really dove into that. But in listening to Andrew's class the other day, I felt, oh, yeah, I could go and listen to that money mindset, right? And just ramp it up a little bit more, right? But yeah, because I'm feeling like I really need to get more comfortable with the call to actions. And maybe that's tied in with the money story. I'm not really sure, but I think it is.
Yeah, I think.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, because when you're putting the call to action out there, it's a call to action for people to take some action with you. to jump into something with you. And so if you have some kind of fear around money, and in your head you think, if you put a call to action out and then people respond to it and they take that action, then that's where the fear around money could come, because then you might start feeling like maybe it's unworthiness, maybe it's not being good enough yourself, like, and that can definitely stop you from putting out those call to actions for people to actually do something. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's all just a learning, and you go through the process step by step, and you learn some, and then you do something else, and then you learn something.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting over those hurdles, those mental blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And so what was what has been one of the biggest learnings for you so far since your time of being in the Freedom Era?
From some of the teachings, you mean?
Yeah, just something that you feel like you've really learned.
Okay. Well, I hope this applies. I know that we always talk about the inner work is 80% of it, right? And so I feel that that's where I have learned the most. So many limiting beliefs, growing up adopted, not having a sense of belonging or deservedness, those sort of all become barriers on moving forward in your work and your life. And I feel like I've taken back my power. I've gotten more confident. I started drumming and singing, practicing culture, which I never had growing up. And, I started to smudge. So I'm incorporating my culture back into my life. And I really think that has propelled me forward to continue doing the difficult things that we need to do in order to show up. Yeah. So I've been showing up, so I think that's the biggest thing I've learned. I mean, everything else is technical, learning how to do Facebook or learning how to do, and not everything, but some of these things. Yeah. I mean, I know there's mindsets and there's marketing and, content. I had a bit of a block with content. I don't know why, because I can't stop writing. So I think that really helped me the most. Those were my stuck parts, was the content creation, and I'm doing it.
Awesome.
And I think I'll get better at it as I go along, right?
Yeah, totally. And it's only been 3.5 months so far, and from what I'm hearing from you now, I feel like you've had like massive growth within yourself, and then also with what you're producing and creating as well. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, and so I guess the other thing is just ensuring that I stay high vibe so that I'm attracting, leaders into my life to be a part of my team.
Yeah, awesome. And so what would like a bit of advice or a golden nugget be that you'd want to give to people who are watching this now, and maybe they're thinking about getting started in the Freedom Era, or they're on the fence?
I would say that this is the real deal. You get so much value if you get nothing else other than personal development out of joining this platform and this community. I think you've won the lottery. Mm-hmm. It's just, I feel like I'm a part of a community now that gets me, whereas I've always sort of been different, and people are talking about law of attraction all the time, and when I talk about it around my friends, they listen, because they love me, but they're not necessarily like full in like everybody else around here is. So that would be like, just go for it. It's worth every minute. Trust me.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being on with me today, Pat. And if you are watching this, we would love to know what you took away from this conversation here with Pat today. So just let us know about that in the comments down below. All right.